A very good morning to everybody, and I would like to first and foremost, thank everybody for being here on a Sunday morning. Yes, and also thank you to Dr. Shekhar. This has been an amazing venture. All of us sitting here, this energy and what we've taken today from Dr. Shekhar and Sachin. Yes, so allergies can definitely be treated to an extent to minimizing the symptoms, which is as good as not having it. And this is not only one dimensional, mind you, this is multi-dimensional. I repeat this after Dr. Shekhar has, because this is how it is. We are not only the man, we are also the tan, and we are also the an. So whatever we eat is definitely affecting our mind also, and our body also. That's why food is connected to all therapeutic disease, right? Moving on from here, by and large, what we focus on every time we have a patient who has some kind of allergies is that we bolster a lot of immunomodulators. So a lot of nutrients which would support immunity are highlighted and reinforced on. And by and large, all these are anti-inflammatory in nature. अभी anti-inflammatory क्या होता है? अभी जैसे हम सारे एज करते हैं, as we are moving towards aging, हमारी arteries thick होना चालू होती हैं, blood thick होना चालू होता है, sluggish होना चालू होता है, थोड़ा lax होता है, उसका circulation उतना नहीं होता जितना बच्चों में होता है, more so because of a sedentary mechanized world today. So what is happening by and large is that our whole motto is to anti-inflame the blood. Every time it's becoming thick, we have to anti-inflame it, we have to detox it, we have to help it circulate better. So the foods which support this are emphasized more on. Yeah? So that's one thing. And besides that, again coming to the holistic approach, it's also about the mind, the energy we carry. So today, if I've got everything on earth, but I'm still unsatisfied deep inside, all the luxuries, all the comforts, but there's something which is not peaceful inside, all that is of no good. And the truth is that peace doesn't come from outside, it comes from within. It comes from inside us. We have to look inside to find it. We have to be with our energy. Yeah, this is very important. It may also sound very spiritual to you all to start with for a nutritional, immunomodulating session, but this is the crux. All this also is important, but this is the crux. That's why I'm coming with this. What I have seen in my patients, a lot of my patients, I have also started telling them to meditate, to breathe. That's how they become more aware of the foods which they are eating, and their awareness has increased to such an extent that they very well know that this is not good in too many quantities and this is good even if I exceed. And that's what's really helping them recharge. Yes, so meditating is also giving us a lot of cosmic energy. It's also giving us a lot of good hormones, helping us find that silence inside us, which is ultimately blissful everywhere you are, with no one around you or with everyone around you. Yes? I hope you all can carry this along with a lot more which is coming our way. So we move on to the next. Alright, so basically what are allergies? It's hypersensitivity, as Dr. Shekhar mentioned. It's overreaction of the body's immune system to a particular substance which harms the body. Now, necessarily, it would not mean that the person is, low on a nutrient profile. Sometimes the babies may be really well breastfed, and their immune system is far sound, that could also be one of the reasons why the body is showing these reactions. Yes? Moving on, it varies from person to person. It can range from minor irritation to life-threatening, as we all heard from Dr. Shekhar. And many of them may not be able to be cured completely, but definitely the signs and symptoms can be reduced. Okay, this is a wonderful video. Ashish, could you help me with this, please? Okay, you all need to see this video. As we were talking, that these kids are deprived of so many such foods which they'd love to have. So by and large, it's not always like that. And in fact, I've known of, as Dr. Shekhar said, I've known of so many other doctors like this who say you can take it, you indulge in it. I know of a family, they have ice creams when they have cold, and that's how their cold goes away. Every time there's somebody having cold in their family, they go and they have ice creams. It's like, a treat session, and they indulge, and that's how their cold goes away. So it's all a mindset. It's all the ideas we have set on our mind. Enlarge कर देते हैं. It's all the ideas we have set on our mind. पहले enlarge करते हैं. So, okay. Moving on from here, you can see, how the kids love the ice cream, and, most of the times we deprive them of so many such yummy things. It's also the craving of the soul for that, it's not just a human form of a child, there are many other things attached to that energy. So, depriving, could be hazardous that way, in the subtle world. We are looking only at the gross over here. Okay, moving on, as Dr. Shekhar mentioned, it's a lot more. It's the pollution, it's the pollens, it's the air we breathe, it's our rugs, it's our mattresses, it's our pets, a lot more. So these episodes of allergy could vary from person to person at different intensities, in different frequencies. As we can see, these are the causes in our kind of an urbanized city. Now, this is very important for kids more so. Eating habits during the first year of life. Feeding babies solid foods too early. This is for all the mamas who would also want to give birth to small babies. In your families, you all have to disseminate all this to many others. So take it well. It's also for those mommies, if they'll end up feeding the babies too early, or sometimes they may not breastfeed at all. Sometimes there are gluten allergies which are coming in. Like let's say something starchy is given, wheat and maida. So there is gluten allergy which sets in too early in age. Poor digestion also increases allergies. So it's also the health of our gut, our stomach, which may also be a precursor for the manifestation of allergy. Could be improper chewing. It could be poor hydrochloric acid in the stomach, the HCl, which is given out every time we smell food, or if we have food in front of us. What is happening inside? There's HCl which is secreted by the stomach. It's becoming ready to digest. So sometimes due to biological or physiological reasons, if this very HCl is less, it could not let the food digest properly, which can also cause allergies. Lack of pancreatic enzymes, bile, excessive fluids around meals. This is another topic altogether. In Ayurveda, they have recommended that the water has not to be taken 45 minutes before you eat your main meal and 45 minutes after you've eaten your main meal. Reason being, there are digestive juices are becoming thin and they may not be able to act well on the food. So it's better to have very less water when you eat. That's how the food will get digested well. The other causes for kids' allergies, there could be presence of parasites, worms, candida, other bacteria, then stress. So as I said, we all really need to be happy. Anytime we are mentally stressed, our body gets into automatic inflammatory mode, automatic acidity, automatic heaviness in the head. It just starts in the body with stress. Why? Because there's a lot of stress hormones the body is giving out to combat. So those stress hormones, when secreted in the body by the glands in excessive quantities, harm the body. They prove toxic to the body. So always be happy, be peaceful, be cheerful. Even for children, we have to understand their energy and keep them happy. Not keep shoveling them, with a lot of do's and don'ts. Keep them mentally comfortable. Okay, other reason also could be if it's overnutrition, as I mentioned earlier, sometimes it could also be undernutritional. Environmental toxicity, as we know, colors, flavors, processed foods, monosodium, I will come to this. This is a vast topic in itself. And low nutritional levels. So there are certain immunomodulating nutrients. Sometimes when they're deficient on those, the body starts proving allergic. Excess or repeated contact of particular foods and substances. So sometimes what happens is some kids are very choosy about what they want to eat. They will just eat that and nothing else. Like meal after meal, they do not display their liking for a lot of foods. I want pasta, I can have it 3 times in a day. I can have it for 5 days if I'm on a holiday. But what is it doing at the level of the body? There's too much of a particular nutrient which is going in a very short span of time, rather than having an array of foods which are giving a lot of other nutrients. So this also could percolate into allergies. So these are the basic symptoms we see. And these are called as the main triggering foods, the big 8 allergens, so-called. I would say so-called, because it's again very individual and it's highly specific from person to person in different degrees. This cannot be generalized. Allergies cannot be generalized. They are highly specific. They will vary from person to person in different degrees, in different situations. Situations, mind you, social, emotional, mental, spiritual. Okay, peanuts, soya, eggs, milk, fish, shellfish, wheat of course, and tree nuts. So again, seafood, there's a lot of mercury contamination happening in the seas because of the oil factories, discarding their dumping, which is happening. So let's say if I want to emphasize on fish oil and I start consuming more fish, but I develop a rash. So how it's coming and from where then? So one has to be very aware of what is going in and what amounts. Okay, so here we have a classic slide wherein what is happening is that a normal bronchiole, a capillary, is becoming more coarse, more inflamed. You can see that the walls are becoming thick, and you can see that there's hardly any place left in the center for the blood to move, the air rather, in the bronchioles. So these are the conventional medical treatments. Antihistamines, they may treat the symptoms and may only suppress the body's reaction to an allergen. Then we have steroidal nasal sprays. The long-term effects are always unknown with allopathy in the picture. Then we have laser surgery, not quite common in our kind of a country, but this is used in most of the continents to vaporize mucus-forming nasal tissue. Then is decongestants. They reduce congestion but may create a rebound effect. You see what is happening then? You've given it, it stopped, but then again it has come back. And there's desensitization shots, allergy shots. I also do happen to know of many patients who have been having those problems even after desensitization injections. So sometimes it may work, sometimes it may backfire. So coming to the first vitamin is vitamin C. A lot of studies have been done on this, and this is one of the classic vitamins which will help. So load up on vitamin C during allergy season as it acts as an antihistamine. And the dosage recommended is 1000 to 2000 milligrams of vitamin C every day to avoid these kind of symptoms. So we have Indian gooseberries, we have citrus, avla, that is Indian gooseberry, we have citrus fruits, berries, kiwi, all these are very high on their vitamin C content. So if you have, let's say, 2 citrus fruits per day, you're doing fine, If you're having something like 1 avla every day, or let's say 2 kiwis a week, you're doing fine. These are the other foods rich in vitamin C. Then we have the vitamin A rich foods. Again, these are anti-inflammatory in nature. So a lot of greens, like अपना जो पात्रा पत्ता आता है seasonal, amaranth, kotmir, methi, palak, shepu, these are very nutrient dense. Not only vitamin A, but they have an array of other micronutrients which are very, very beneficial for immunity. So one must always incorporate them. And of course it's coming from beta carotene also. Vitamin A is also coming from beta carotene, which is carotenoids. So carrots and pumpkin. Then we have vitamin E rich foods, nuts. It's coming from a lot of nuts. It's a fat soluble vitamin. So fats are basically, there are good fats and bad fats. So nuts have all healthy fats. You can bank on them in the right quantities and have your vitamin E supply. So also selenium is coming in, which helps this kind of and it helps to reduce the inflammation and have this anti-allergic effect. So we have almonds, hazelnuts, sunflower seeds, peanuts. Peanuts have a lot of folic acid. Our Indian diets are by and large very low on folic acid because most of us are also vegans. There may be many non-vegans also over here, but if you are a vegetarian, by and large your folic acid level will go low. So if you are having peanuts, you are very well taking care of that micronutrient. Then we have the omega-3. So now we have all these pharmacy companies, they've come up with so many brands, of omega. So you have Mega-3, you have, so many brands. Dr. Reddy's is there, and so many brands of omega. You're getting cold pressed flaxseed oil also in the market, you know. Lot of things happening with omega. So why has it become so important? Because it's very immunobolstering. Number one, it's anti-inflammatory, and it's not only supporting prevention of allergies, it's also got to play a very important role to keep our eyes, hair, nails, joints, skin, everything healthy. So this could definitely be emphasized on. And please do focus more on the vegetarian sources rather than the non-vegetarian sources. Vegetarian sources would be flax seeds, there's walnuts, there's almonds, there's chia seeds. वो जो हम बचपन में सब्जा डलवाते थे ना गोले वाले के पास, that's chia. That's also got a lot of omega. So we can have it in the vegan version, which would be better. Of course, now for allergies and inflammations, the body has to be in an acidic mode. It's by and large has to be, no, it is in an acidic mode. So we need to alkalize the body. How do we alkalize the body? We have to have alkalizing foods. Which are the alkalizing foods? They are again anti-inflammatory in nature, and they are calcium and magnesium. So calcium helps to regulate the body's acid or alkaline balance in tissues. It buffers the acidic stage of an allergic reaction, and it reduces histamine production. So the symptoms will come down. Once the histamine is taken care of, the symptoms will come down. Sources: poppy seeds, khaskhas. You all know of khaskhas, right? Sesame, til, that is. So til, khashkhash one can have twice in a week, thrice in a week, 2 to 3 spoonfuls. Then is magnesium. Considering the anti-stress mineral, it's considered as an anti-stress mineral. It buffers the acidic stage of an allergic reaction. It's a bufferer, it's an alkalizer, required in many of the body's detoxification pathways. It may reduce the bronchoconstrictor in asthma by relaxing the muscles around the bronchial tubes. Even for hyper women, I feel, bananas help them a big deal because they become calm after eating bananas. That's what I've seen with my experience and patients. Sometimes we're full of anxiety and we've got so many things. Just have a banana, it will pacify you. So this is how it is. And their sources are spinach, almonds, pumpkin seeds, cashew, and breakfast bran. Okay, so these are the different magnesium-rich foods, as you all can see. There's an array of foods we should be eating, and we should not limit ourselves to a particular food group. By and large, we have to have nutrients coming from different foods. Then comes zinc. Especially for skin allergies, this works wonders. It's antiviral, it's antibacterial, it bolsters immunity, and by and large zinc is found in sesame seeds. Then selenium, again one more immunomodulator. It protects the cell membranes and stimulates the immune function. It increases the B cell antibody response. It also enhances the efficacy of other nutrients like CQ10, which is very beneficial for a healthy heart, or something like even activation of vitamin C in the body. And its sources are nuts and oilseeds. Brown rice and lima again are very good sources of selenium along with dry fruits. Then we talk about flavonoids. We always keep reading in the newspapers about flavonoids, catechins. Yes, how many of y'all are into reading in the papers about all the nutritional things? Yeah, absolutely. So they are mentioning time and again, you will keep coming across these words, flavonoids, catechins. It's very, let's come to the basics. It's basically, food highlighters found in these foods like apples. So quercetin is an enzyme which is found in apples, which is anti-allergic, as it protects the cell from the cell membranes rupturing, thereby inhibiting the release of excessive histamine. So we have the catechins. So green tea. So every time you feel you're triggering off with a cold, you have a green tea with lemon squeezed inside. it will work miracles for you. Yeah? Why? Because it has catechins which are anti-allergic. When combined with vitamin C, they prove mycolytic. They start breaking the mucus inside. So they don't let you go to that level where you're choco-blocked and you need antibiotics. And then there are certain other enzymes and micronutrients like bromelain, which is found in pineapple. Then papain, which is found in papaya. There's something called as licorice root. You all know of these Ayurvedic, kanthil it's called. Kanthil, small balls which are given as some people would take lozenges or something to settle their cough. There's something called as kanthil also which is given. It's an Ayurvedic version, so it's nothing else but licorice. Then copper. Copper is again very high in prunes, in black pepper and DGLVs, dark green leafy vegetables. So all of these keep the cells healthy and intact. And black pepper is also known a lot in Ayurveda for balancing the tridosha. So that is the kapha, pitta and the vata. It balances all the three. So it harmonizes the energies and it doesn't let you land up in that black hole. And there's something called as molybdenum, that's a micronutrient which is also found in a lot of nuts, oilseeds and our rotis, dal, sabzis. It's also again very bolstering. It detoxifies, it's mentioned over here. It enhances the cell's utilization of vitamin C and detoxifies the sulfites and the aldehydes, the toxic components of the blood. So here we have certain substitutes like buckwheat can be used if somebody has a gluten allergy, so-called. So the wheat, every time the person is having wheat, he may have a bout of loose motions or something. So we tell them to take substitutes. Let's say if there's some kid who's manifested allergy to lactose, we give them substitutes. So we tell them to take groundnut milk or soya milk or peanut milk, so on. So we give them. It's not that they are deprived of that food. And even other foods like horseradish, hot mustard, fennel, that is apna saunf, ansi, sage, all these, they stimulate the cilia to help break the congestion every time we are down with colds. There's something called as cayenne pepper, you can see in the picture, and curcumin, haldi. हमको सबको बचपन से मालूम है सर्दी होती है माँ हल्दी वाला दूध बना के देती है. So here it comes. And even rose hips and rosemary, these are the herbs which are used globally. They may not be very popular in our kind of cuisines, but of course we are having it available in our super food shops. So rosemary and rose herbs, very rich in polyphenols, which lower allergies and inflammations caused by the leukocytes. And this is a picture where they've shown the benefits of fennel and cumin, as you can see. So fennel is basically, it's a diuretic. Every time you feel puffy, you feel you're swelling up, even when you're heading towards your D-days in the month, if you take fennel, it has diuretic properties. Anything with more potassium will have that kind of an effect. So this is one of those, and it detoxifies the blood. It's also relaxing, you can see. And it helps you get rid of intestinal worms versus cumin. Now even cumin is so important. We wonder why it's put as a tadka in our vegetarian recipes, but it's very important. You can see it helps in warming digestive processes. Bitterness helps. Its bitterness helps in purifying the blood. It's anti-spasmodic and it's a great pain reliever. So all these little things which we are adding have a big role to play in our diet. Okay, so these are the Ayurvedic names which are also purporting anti-inflammatory effects as far as the blood goes. Pipali, Madhuyashti, Marich, Anantmul, and we have Ashwagandha, we've all heard of these names. Neem is there, Lasuna, garlic, we know garlic benefits thinning of the blood, anti-cold, antiviral, antibacterial because it's very rich in sulfur. So we come to ginger. We have our nice remedy made. It's a combination of ginger and tulsi and honey and black pepper, right? Available in, it's Dabur Honitis by a very reputed brand, Dabur. So Dabur Honitis. So it's all coming from here. Basically, the key ingredients are all anti-inflammatory in nature. So ginger, of course, can be added to tea also for reducing the symptoms. Then is onion and garlic. They are also high in selenium. Besides, they also have thromboxanes which support immunity. And there's something called as quercetin. We did that earlier. It's found. It's an enzyme found where there are flavonoids. So apples. It's an antioxidant that may prevent cells from releasing histamine. Tulsi. So now we have tulsi also in so many versions under so many brand names. It's always been there. It's one classic thing, to bank on along with homeopathy. So the leaves of tulsi have always been there, anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic. Honey. Consuming local honey from where you live will help your body adapt to the allergens, and it works as a herbal remedy. So by and large, we've seen in many children, every night when they're going to sleep, we tell their mothers to give them 2 spoonfuls, which definitely brings their symptoms down over a period of months.
Excuse me, how old?
Yeah, they would vary again. See, by and large, till the time,
Toddlers and babies.
yeah, when they grow up. So you can give from the time they're 5. It's not very safe in newborns or less than 1. You can start after your breastfeeding. So by and large, first 2 years breastfeeding, and of course after the 6 to 8 months is your other feeds which come in, weaning of different new foods, one thing at a time on weekly basis. And once the child is above 4-5, honey is very safe. It becomes very safe at that level, and you can give it. Black pepper. We have spoken about this earlier, how it's balancing the doshas. In fact, we have, I've heard from great Ayurvedics on YouTubes. They've been giving lectures in Africa and all, and different continents, and they've been telling people to have ginger and black pepper, even for different conditions. Because all medical conditions, by and large, are related to the gut. So to keep the gut healthy, to have maximum efficacy and assimilation of those nutrients to come into the bloodstream, the presence of ginger and black pepper before meals is also very enhancing. There have been a lot of reviews, reports, surveys and studies done on this, and this has gone global, from India. So we are the lucky ones who have it with us. It's our cultural heritage. So we should be banking more on these. Yes, so basically it's by and large the diet and the lifestyle also. So dairy products, as Dr. Devang just mentioned to you all, most of the cases who have a lot of mucolytic production, it could be too much of salivation, it could be too much of nasal, it could be in the chest. So we have to give them less of dairy products, because every time there's more milk, there'll be more mucus formation. That's for sure. This has proved very beneficial. And of course, environment has to be kept neat and clean. So the carpets, the rugs, the pets, the laundry, the dry cleaning, all that has to be very well taken care of. The dust mites have to be barred in every way. So this is again something very important. Yes, and besides this is the third point over here: avoid very spicy, heavy, cold foods. So let's say if you have an ice cream which is melting, it's okay to have it once it's a little soft and eatable, rather than having it very cold. That's what I always tell my patients. And their kids are doing super fine even after they indulge in ice creams. They don't go to extremes. Very hot food, it will trigger some allergy. Very cold foods, allergy. Very spicy, fried foods are inflammatory. they promote the inflammation. Ashish, charge kar dena. So this is one thing we have to always keep in mind. And as I was telling you all, the water intake and even the food intake, as we are getting up in the morning after a long fast of the night where the body doesn't consume much and it's in the restorative mechanism, in the mornings you can always go in for a healthy breakfast by and large. Your breakfast should be like a king. Your lunch has to be like a prince and your dinner has to be like a pauper. What are we doing in our urbanized city? Totally ulta. टाइम ही नहीं है मैम, कैसे कर सकते हैं, आप तो बोलते हो. This is how it is, you take it or you take it, otherwise you suffer. See, our body is giving out a lot of digestive juices when the sun is coming up. That's the time it's preparing for maximum digestion. And when we are fit and active and moving, doing so many other things during the day, the utilization is the max. During the latter half of the day, the body is coming to a restorative phase. So it starts declining on all the production of acids. That's why the germs eat early. So by and large, try and have a little early dinner like supper, something light. Because then if the body is not able to digest something which you've taken really late, it will make it a toxin, which will harm in some way or the other. And it's very good for all of us to sit and listen to all this, but we do need to imbibe it. I would not say never eat anything late night. It's okay to enjoy once in a while, take breaks, but follow a pattern which is more healthy and more sustaining over a long period of time. So even if you go out of the border once in a while, it will not matter. Hai na? Yes, all of you all are with me? Yes, and we have to spread this. You will take it, but you imbibe it and you prove it to others. You know, they should be like, wow, she's doing great. And you prove it to 10 others that what you're doing is so fine, you know. So we all have to be examples for others. It's like that. So 10 ways to prevent allergies. One is the healing of the gut. Now, again, there was one very interesting study I heard in our IDA. What it had to say is that my health right now would also define the health of my progeny 2 generations from now. So, what my health statistics and the level of my nutrients is today will also prove what and how healthy my progeny would be 2 generations from now, not my next also, 2 generations. So you can see how much and to what extent this is going. So have a healthy gut. We always tell women who are overweight, please lose weight and then conceive. Very important. Otherwise, gestational diabetes, pressure is all parallel lines पे चलता है pregnancy के साथ. And then they're so confused, अभी खा नहीं सकते, baby को अंदर बराबर मिलेगा कि नहीं. You know, there are many other issues which come in. So that's one thing. Second, breastfeed your baby, because here you're giving all the immunomodulating nutrients. That's the best way the baby's gut is made by God and Mother Nature to digest. The best of nutrients coming from the mother. Serve real foods which are less processed right from the start. So I think back then when we were small, we hardly used to go to doctors. I don't really remember going much to doctors because we didn't have so many processed foods. We didn't have McDonald's and Pizza Huts, and you know, it was not like a happening thing. And today we have our kids every fortnight. They do visit such places. They eat all this. So they are banking on a lot of processed foods, junk, ready-to-eat foods. Also, we are working, so we don't have time. So we are using all convenience foods, ready-to-eat foods. So that authenticity of the very original is lost somewhere. So we have to hold on to it. So the next point is like, I'm just quoting the 5th point because it's quite similar to what I was just telling y'all. It's about these GMOs, the genetically modified foods. In different continents, they have different brands giving you like different array of breakfast cereals and flavored pancakes and flavored liquids which are given. And even for the newborns, after 6 to 8 months, they have different foods in cans available where parents do not make fresh, they just use 2 spoons from the can to remodify it and give it to the baby. So that's not supported. That's not really healthy and real because it's being genetically modified. So I'm here to argue against GMOs. Yeah, more natural, the more we get from it, the more we're with our roots. And antibiotics, of course. So they are crippling immunity. Once in a while we don't have a go, that's a different issue we have to give in sometimes. But by and large we have to avoid antibiotics. Fresh air, sunshine, water, let them feel everything. It releases different hormones in them of joy and happiness which support their immunity and help them keep inflammations and infections low. So gut healing foods, real foods, clean hygienic environment, a lot of water because the toxins get cleared then. The body is in alkaline mode, it will not go in acidic mode. The minute you're urinating very yellow urine, the body is going acidic. So please have water. And if it's in acidic mode, it is welcoming infections. Abel mujhe maar. So always hydrate your children, your own self. Breathe well. Breathe deep. Yeah. And of course, yogic breathing. It has been introduced in most of the schools. Now our children are learning about Anulom Vilom and different Surya Namaskar. I think today there was a yogathon happening. There was a pinkathon happening. I mean, we all are here, but there are many others who've gone for that. So it's good because this is how we will sustain the mechanization and the urbanization. Green your homes inside may not be possible with our Indian and Mumbai scenario, but the more we are closer to greenery, the better it goes. Yes? So, namaste to all of y'all. I honor all in you which is divine. Yes, we all are energies and we have to take the right out of it wherever we go and give just the right energies for others to shine. We are here for a bigger reason, not only for ourselves. So look beyond what we see physically and just help everyone. Be a sample of what you say and take the right messages across. Yes, thank you so much all of you. Being such patient listeners. Any questions please? Feel free, any questions? Okay, I think we just wind up. Dr. Devang, we can wind up and yes, please, all of y'all, there's a leaflet which is kept on the table. It's a takeover for y'all and we have something from Rice Bite. That's a nice brand where they give protein bars for children. So y'all can definitely take it home for your kids. It's got a lot of protein and it's good before workouts and after workouts if y'all are athletic or into gym. You can just read the details of the information given to you all from here. Yes? Thank you so much.